What is up? My name is Scar Knight and welcome to another news featuring type of Generation 7 now confirmed of Pokemon. We'll talk about that. So I want to talk about my previous video. It's like the previous video pertained to the news stories and such. My very first news segment, even though I kind of technically did one for Oraz where I thought Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, that Steven was going to be Omega Ruby champion and Wallace is going to be Alpha Sapphire. This would be my technically second one compared to the Magiana one. And I want to talk about that before I get started. As you see some other visuals going on right now. Magiana is not Magiana, it's not Mangina, it's not Magina, anything like that. Is Margiana now. It's confirmed the spelling is different. I think it's because Magiana is more based on the Japanese name. And still there's no typing confirmed, but I'm still willing to bet that it is Steel type and Fairy type. And it is a man-made Pokemon. Other than that, new stuff happened where there was a leak happened where they already showed the logos of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. And the funny thing about that is in Cerebi.net, he believed that it could be one of those fan-made games that they were making for logos and someone found them and they overhyped them or something like that. They thought it might be like Pokemon Brown, Pokemon Amethyst, something along those lines, fan-made games. And unless there's something I'm missing on that segment. But in Nintendo Direct, I believe in the past Saturday, if you're watching this in the future, I believe it was like, actually no, it was February 26th. It was the day before the anniversary, the 20th anniversary that is. They showed this trailer where this really represents Pokemon, unlike the Super Bowl one. I mean, the Super Bowl commercial was still pretty cool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, be sure to watch it after this video. But this video in particular, Nintendo Direct, it started as you know, the typical Nintendo Game Boy style, and then the CEO, the president, just showed up out of nowhere and he said, okay, we'll present you this trailer. And like I said, it really represented the true faction, or I don't know, it's faction, what the heck, the true essence of Pokemon, where everybody's just getting together, they're collecting, they're trading, they're battling with Pokemon, that you see all the generations going throughout. And what I noticed is that they didn't show the in-between games, and that kind of got me like a little skeptical at first. But they show Pokemon Red and Blue, and Red and Green if you want to be specific, Gold and Silver, Ruby and Sapphire, Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, X and Y, and then they showed the newest games, and sure enough, Pokemon Sun and Moon was confirmed. And it got me going. I'm all like, I've been getting this big rant of, like, every time I do these news story videos, I remember, like I said, about the whole Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, but I'll admit that's a little bit of a stretch. But I remember when Sylveon came out, I was saying, like, it said new type. They were being literal. They said a brand new type. Everybody was saying he's flying type, despite there's no such thing as a levitating flying type Pokemon aside from Tornadus, because he's like the only pure flying. Sylveon obviously doesn't look like a flying type. Everybody thought it was. I said it was just a normal type. I said it was just a straight up normal type. But it turned out to be a fairy type. That's when they introduced the brand new typing. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm that person that go like, okay, everybody's being stupid and I'm correct. I feel like I'm that sometimes. And I was saying that 6th generation was it's not over. It's not. You know, like I said, Volcanion barely got introduced, despite that everybody already knew this Pokemon. But he had a trailer, you know, he had a trailer and he was introduced. Zygarde is not even catchable in X and Y. He's just there. And they introduced the other forms with the core and stuff like that. And I thought Pokemon Z was coming, you know. They usually have an in-between games. But it seemed like as of late, they've been experimenting with certain stuff, you know. They've been ever since 4th generation, because like I said, they started with Red and Green, and then America came, Red and Blue version. And then the special edition for Japan was blue version, but for America it was yellow, where I think it's not just America, it's like other places too. But we got yellow version. Gold and silver came around, then we get crystal version. Ruby sapphire, we get emerald version. Diamond pearl, we get platinum version. But then it's kind of weird that it just ends there, because then we got black and white, and then we get the sequels of Black 2 and White 2. And funny story, I refused to buy black and white because I was waiting for the middle version to come, because the middle version, the special edition version, was always better than the, you know, the, oh, you choose a side or whatever. And Pokemon Gray never came. It was just Black 2 and White 2. So when I realized this, and then after that X and Y came out, I'm all like, alright, dang, I guess I'm gonna get black and white. So, and then Black 2 and White 2. And what they could have done that would have been alright and would have been probably preferred more if they had black and white, and then the sequels instead of Black 2 and White 2 is just have Pokemon Gray, but that would be Black 2 and White 2 as its own thing. Everybody would find it a little bit more special, and I guarantee you that it would have been moving forward with that, you know, Pokemon Gray having a sequel story. And plus they have the Kyurem thing with the you know, black Kyurem and white Kyurem. I'm not sure about that part of the story, because maybe it's whatever N would prefer to have as the chosen dragon. I would see him having a Reshiram more than a Zekrom though. Hopefully that would make sense, because you know where I'm coming from. But I don't understand if it is truly Generation 7, because it has been confirmed to be new games. They didn't say anything about region or anything like that. I'm assuming it is a new region now. Kind of hesitant to say, but I don't know, man. I really was looking forward for Pokemon Z. If it was X2 and Y2, I would have been like, ugh, you know. But hopefully you guys know what I'm coming from, where I'm saying this. But there's no Pokemon Z. It's Pokemon Sun and Moon. People are theorizing that maybe Sun and Moon is talking about the southern portion of Kalos, rather. I don't think that's the case. I don't think they would completely rename and rebrand X and Y just to do that, just to do the southern region, even if it's a bigger portion of the region. I know I said region twice. I mean the southern hemisphere, or you know what I'm trying to say, the southern part of Kalos. I wouldn't think they would have their own game on that, even though they did that for Black 2 and White 2, where they show a different west side part of the whole thing. But yeah, some stuff with Pokemon Sun and Moon. You know, a lot of people have been speculating. I got my little own twist on it if you really wanted to know. I'm gonna go look at the pictures right quick. The first picture right here, as you can see, there's cars. It's not the first time they have cars, you know, in I think in the anime, they have cars here and there, and Cynthia drives her Jeep and stuff like that. In 5th generation, you actually see that in the games, but only in a couple times where, you know, from Castelli City, you can see a freeway where all these cars are driving, but that's about it. And there's like different colored trucks, and then people ask you, I think there's like a question specifically for that thing, for how many blue trucks or whatever there are. Other than that, in 6th generation, I don't remember any cars in 6th generation, but as you can see, there's cars there. This may be because there's different color Jeeps. That definitely tells me that there's going to be several other cars that you're going to see throughout the game. But I don't think you're going to have access to it. I don't think you could cross the street and then the car would just park in front of you. I mean, that would be cool. But I feel like a lot of kids would like try to get themselves road killed on purpose. Other than that, you could see a firefighter truck, and it has a Blastoise on it, and that makes me think about the Squirtle Squad and how Squirtle joined the firefighter team. If there were to be an anime, Squirtle should come back. Also, Pidgeot should come back too, because that's really scandalous of Ash to never return and get to get Pidgeot back, because he said, "I'll come back for you." He's been to Pallet Town like 6 times, and he's still not seen Pidgeot. But yeah. I mentioned Blastoise on it. I forgot to mention that in the other picture. What was it? Let me zoom in on this picture right quick. I believe a Furfrou a Machoke, and I zoomed in too much, and another Pokemon that I can't really see because it's being kind of weird with the zoom in, but I'll just leave it alone. And in the bottom you see that there's an ambulance. Now this could be for a couple things. This could be because of, you know, maybe if the trainer whites out or blacks out, whatever you want to call it, you'll see the ambulance coming. But what I think is the firefighter truck and the ambulances might be storyline. I feel like there's going to be a huge accident in some type of building, a very important building, probably most likely in the main city, because ambulances and firefighter trucks will probably move in and try to put out the flames and such like that. And I also feel like they might have some police cars here and there. You don't see any of the concept art right now, but that's probably a huge possibility. As for the Jeeps, I feel like the main Jeep that's I don't even know what color that is. Is that like green or tannish green or something like that? I don't know. I feel like that truck will have a certain character that you'll see commonly on that Jeep, because like I said, Cynthia rode one of these Jeeps, and I feel like for some reason Pokemon really likes that. But then again, that's a stretch as well. Alright, next picture. We see the Pokemon centers here. I really like the way the Pokemon Center looks, and this is concept art, and the lower parts is just different angles. So maybe because I feel like a lot of people are gonna expect too much. They're really gonna expect too much because X and Y was a huge leap from black and white. It's just all 3D. The graphics are just amazing, and a huge leap from X and Y to Sun and Moon would be different angles of 3D. You'll be able to go around the Pokemon Center and you'll see the back. Maybe that will be it. Maybe that's what it's telling us here. Towards the left of the Pokemon Centers, you might see the interior of how it will look. There's other pictures displaying that you'll actually have the full dimension of the place. But most times when you go into a place in a Pokemon game, it would be bigger, you know. And I see a window. Maybe perhaps they're like trying to initiate, like you could actually see what's outside the Pokemon Center. If there was a Pokemon running back and forth, you'll see that Pokemon running back and forth through that window. Maybe that's what it's telling us. That would be a huge leap from X and Y to Sun and Moon, because other than that, I am not expecting too much graphic wise, because it's fine in my opinion the way it is in X and Y, but these are minor tweaks that they could do. If not, I'm not gonna crucify them. I like the X and Y graphics enough as it is anyway. Anyway, next picture is a wire graphic. This is what I wanted to look at. First time watching this, I noticed this. I'm all like, that is definitely a new Pokemon. I don't know why people think it's a fletchling. It clearly isn't, because the body type of it, the head and the body is way too close together when it's a fletchling. This Pokemon's a new Pokemon entirely. So when you look at this Pokemon, a lot of people are saying, I think they have like a certain list of Pokemon that they named. I can't really say if that's legitimate or not, but for this Pokemon, they're saying that it's either a hummingbird or a woodpecker. My guess is, I want to say it's a cardinal, because in the next picture right here, you'll have like a different side view, and there's like a certain picture of, I believe in twitter.com or something like that, someone did like a DeviantArt of what the Pokemon would look like. I don't know, I'll probably have the picture on screen. If not, I do apologize, but I'm not sure about that. But there's a lot of characters. I can't really speak Japanese or read it, so I do apologize. But it's wireframing, you know, they're having that. Maybe this is just a layers for right now. It's not even complete in this finest. I mean, it's kind of close, but they might add some details here and there. Well, obviously, you know, I don't see any eyes or anything, but it's kind of interesting. There's going to be a new Pokemon. Definitely going to be a starter bird Pokemon, just like Pidgey, Hoot Hoot, Tailo, Starly, so on and so forth, etc., etc. People are saying it's most likely going to be normal flying type. I would just like a flying type pure bird Pokemon. I don't know what defines flying type in Pokemon, like a pure flying type, besides Cernatus again. I don't know. people would guess just because it's red, it's gonna be fire flying, just like Talonflame, you know. But it is definitely not fletchling. I don't know why people are saying that. The head's too big to be a fletchling. Just pointing that out there right now. Even though 3D, they could change some stuff here and there. Alright, so this picture's definitely another interesting picture, because if you look at the pictures to the left, you'll see that there's like a lot of houses and stuff like that. The picture to the right is even more interesting. I don't know if I could zoom that, but I'm gonna try. This is definitely a resort, a hotel, if you will, and there's a lot of water Pokemon on it. I'm willing to bet it's a water gym. I know that a lot of Pokemon games are just doing gyms. It's just gyms, but in the anime, you know, they have gyms that are also something else. Like for example, Erica, the 4th gym of Kanto, has like an aroma store or something like that. She sells like perfume and stuff like that. And you know, there's other gyms that serve other purposes as well, like Koga's gym, I think, is like a ninja academy. And what else? Striton City gym, where they have a restaurant. And yeah, it's kind of interesting in a certain way. And I know that Lisa has like a modeling like walkway, but that's different. I don't know, those are two separate things, but you know what I'm trying to say. All that, and plus, you know, the coal mine with Clay, because he actually tries to look for, you know, good minerals and diamonds and gold and stuff like that, and other places. I think that Skyla has her gym on her little airstrip. What else though? What, I could swear there was, what's the third gym again? No, that's Berg. Okay. Oh, yeah, freaking, what's her face? The one in the museum. I forgot her name. The second gym leader. She's normal type. I don't know. It's taking me forever to remember. Those are all I could remember, to be honest. I don't know. Oh, I guess, I don't know. There's certain themes that could actually qualify as changes, but not really. But I'm willing to say that this is a early gym. I want to say the second gym, because I don't see them ever putting a water gym in the first gym, because that way, I mean, unless they're gonna like start with the Lotad, so to give some fairness to the fire type starter. But other than that, I don't know. The reason I'm saying it's an early gym is because whenever they do like this type of, when they reveal stuff, is usually in the early parts of the game. And as you can see, there's like a Horsey fountain, there's a Horsey flag, and then the other Pokemon in there. Let me try to zoom in on that at least. If you look at the pictures, there's Feel, there's Staryu, there's Feel, there's Staryu, there's Horsey again, and there's probably Krabby in there, and I think that's like a Magikarp or something. Oh no, that's a Chinchou on the left. Unless that the one next to Chinchou is Magikarp. But all these are first stage water Pokemon, so that tells me that it's definitely maybe something. It definitely battles inside. If it's not a water gym, then that's okay, because I don't know, to be honest, I'm not a fan of the gym symbol. It's just like a Pokeball with a streak on top of it. It started in like 5th gen, and all the badges at the time were all elongated because probably of the gym logo. But I don't know, this might be something, or it could be like a battle facility, you know, like the Battle Mason and such. It could be, you know, just put your suggestions in the comments. But the interesting thing as well, if you zoom in that picture, you'll see a girl with the suitcase, and then you see like the character. I'm pretty sure it's not fully designed, but it kind of looks like red. It kind of looks like red, so it definitely tells me that there's some qualities that, you know, may look like red fully. But it's kind of cool, because what if this is like what if it is red and it's like this game takes place like 4 years in the future, even though, like, I guess in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, Red would be 13 in that game. So 4 years later in that, he would be 17, and he would be trying to go in this new region. You know, he moved on with his life because of the theory saying that Red, you know, he's been, you know what I'm trying to say. He was trying to find Mew and stuff, and he's going to, Mount Silver for certain reasons, or whatever you believe that Red was up there Mount Silver. Maybe he moved on with his life and went to other regions looking for different Pokemon, you know? That would be pretty cool. If it's its own character, because, you know, black and white X and Y characters kind of look similar, and black to and white too. And maybe they might have like a homage to Pokemon Trainer Red because of, you know, the 20th anniversary and all. But that would be cool. Other suggestions, just put in the comments. And then you see right here in this picture all these other concepts in the interior design, and it's kind of interesting. And I really do hope that they have all this other stuff. But some pictures I don't have on screen, maybe I'll try to find them. They have Pikachu designs where they look a little bit different. You know, he's like a little bit alternate. Kind of looks like the similar Pikachus to the Pokemon Yellow days, except before, not really when he was fat, but like in those trading card ones where his head was really a little bit more rounder and his body's a little bit more thinner, you know. It's kind of interesting stuff. But one last thing, the Japanese logos. If you look at the Pokemon Sun and you look at the Pokemon Moon, the interesting part about that, just like in X and Y, they have the little Megastone symbol in there. And if you look at the Japanese Pokemon Sun symbol, it has a blue diamond. And for the Pokemon Moon, they have like a yellow diamond. Now, it's kind of interesting that they both have the opposite colors, but the thing is, maybe they have some connection with it when it comes to legendary Pokemon, because just because they share colors might mean something closer than you think. I don't think it's anything pertain to Mega Evolution, but it's a thought. The last picture I wanted to show is something I wanted to look up based on what I said earlier about the diamond suggestion, is because I wanted to say that when I looked at this, I wanted to see any Sun and Moon mythology, because something I forgot to mention. Let's go back to the little water gym picture. The water gym picture, if it is a water gym, I know for a fact it's a hotel because she has luggage and it just looks like a resort. This resort looks, someone suggested that this is based on Singapore, because there's some buildings that looks like the stylizing of the building structure, that this is most likely Singapore. So when I looked at these Japanese symbols, and then I looked at the mythology of anything related to Sun and Moon, just basically just mythology in general, they said that the Norse, what was it? I think it was the Norse god, maybe something like that. That there was two beings called Sol and Mani, or perhaps Mani. I don't know how it's pronounced, but I know that Sol is pronounced correctly. They were saying that there were two almost closely brother and sister related, just the bond and connection with them. That they're on chariots and stuff like that. That they didn't know about their own powers, and then they were placed on this earth, and eventually they just come to discover them. Maybe that's something to do with the legendaries that are coming up, you know, and maybe these legendary Pokemon, the Pokemon Sun mascot might have a blue diamond, but it will look like something, and the typing could be anything. It could be, because it's the sun, it could be literally anything. It could be fire steel, it could be fire psychic, it could be fire water, for all I care. And for the Pokemon Moon, it could be, you know, it could look like, I don't know, I can't really say, because they were saying chariots. It could be horses, it could be anything that represents the sun truly. Like I said, I wanted to make starter Pokemon where I had like a little fire kitty, and when it fully evolves it becomes a lion and it's a fire type, you know. And for the other hand, I wanted to have a puppy and fully evolve into a wolf, so it represents the moon, you know, and it would be like water dark type, or water ice, or dark ice, or something like that. But it would truly represent the moon, and you know, cats hate water. You see what I'm saying? That's what I wanted to do. But maybe it has something to do that really represents the sun and the moon, or they could just be the horses if it truly is from Singapore. If it's based on Singapore, then it would be this. And of course they'll have the yellow diamond. But these are all suggestions. These aren't confirmed or anything. These are just thoughts. These are just some research that I came up across, and that's probably the reason. Well, not probably. This is pretty much the reason I wanted to get a little bit more into depth and research of what this is, because I could have posted this video in the anniversary day, but I had Pokemon Leaf Green randomizer on that day, and plus I've been busy. Like I said, also there was research put into this. Tell me what you guys think. Most likely this won't be horses legendaries. If it is, then cool. I am probably wrong. I'm fully aware of that. But these are just suggestions. If you want, look up Soul and Mani and put like Singapore mythology. That's where I got my research from. And you saw the picture there. Other than that, I'll get more in touch with new Pokemon Sun and Moon news and updates and stuff like that. Maybe make my own theories for that. It's not going to be an official Scar Knight theory video, but close enough, right? Again, put your comments down below. Also, if you are new here, please subscribe for more content if you want more news updates or let's plays and Nuzlockes and stuff like that, because right now I got myself a Pokemon Leaf Green randomizer Nuzlocke and I really need votes. I really need votes because the following video is coming up. And if you find this video interesting, please press the like button to show some good old support, and I'll have some more content like this in the future. So, you've been scarred by the night. I'm out!